Today's episode of This Week in Startups is brought to you by MailChimp. Manage lists with up to 2,000 subscribers and send 12,000 emails per month for free with MailChimp. And by Sourcebits. Visit www.sourcebits.com to begin your mobile app development journey.
Hey everybody, it's This Week in Startups. It's our news roundtable. It's Friday. I'm wearing a tie. Peter Pham is with us. You know him from being a serial entrepreneur and has got his new incubator here in Los Angeles. Marshall Kirkpatrick, another famous person in the internet industry. You know him from his blogging, and he's got a new startup. Megan from Launch is going to read the news, and Tyler, ensure you are absolutely positive that we're going to get an insight.
We'll see what happens.
You promised an insight right now on This Week in Startups.
That's what it's all about, man. They said money is the root of all evil. What? Funny how it feeds my people. We ain't gonna live like equals until we get the money, spend the money, and defeat you. Yeah, money is the root of all evil. What? Funny how it feeds my people. Yeah, we ain't gonna live like equals until we get the money, spend the money, and defeat you.
Hello everybody. My name is Jason Calacanis. This is the program known as This Week in Startups. If you're wondering what this program is about, it's about startup companies, specifically in the technology space. Internet companies, you know, like you heard of the Facebook, the Twitter, the interwebs. And on our Friday show, we do a roundtable. We talk about what's in the news. With us today, Peter Pham. Peter is a serial entrepreneur, and the companies include, well, going backwards, Color,
Bill Shrink,
and PhotoBucket. So two great success and one unknown yet. Color is the jury's still out.
It's still early.
And there was some controversy about you leaving Color. Is it controversial or not controversial?
Not controversial.
Well, why'd you leave then?
You know, different vision.
Different vision. That happens sometimes. No hard feelings. Still friends?
Definitely. The whole
and
team.
still a shareholder?
Very much so.
Okay,
Shareholder,
so
things are going great.
It's a grown-up business, so you move on and you go on to the next thing. And the next thing, of course, is you're running an incubator here at Mike Jones in Los Angeles. We'll hear about that later. On the Skype, no, on GoToMeeting. I hope it's GoToMeeting, not Skype. Skype's on that audio is pretty bad.
Oh, trying to find it.
Is Marshall Kirkpatrick. Are you there?
Hi, Jason. I sure am.
Great to... now, wait a second. ReadWriteWeb is no longer owned by Richard McManus. He sold it, right?
That's the truth. Yep. Say Media acquired ReadWriteWeb just a couple weeks ago after 7 years of long, hard work by Richard and a whole crew of people. It's now part of an even bigger family, and they're going to move on to do more, bigger, and better things. And
so what does that mean for you? You still write a little bit, or are you going to
I'm still doing a little bit of writing for them, but far less than before, and I'm not involved in the management and administration. I have moved on to build my own thing, which I'm real excited about. A startup called Plexus Engine.
And what is that going to be? Is it announced yet or unknown?
I have not announced much about it. If you look on my personal blog, I've written about it some, but it is a web application that discovers emerging and topic expert knowledge on any topic.
Wow.
It's super fun.
That sounds promising.
I've had a data-driven approach throughout my career, and now I'm working on productizing that. So,
awesome. Hey, launch it at the launch conference.
Preparation for the show.
Launch it at the launch conference, March 7th and 8th. And that would be awesome. Hey, Tyler, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
Good.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing I want to tell everybody about before we get into the news, and we do have a lot of news, is that MailChimp is the most awesome program for managing your email. You may have seen this week I wrote 2 emails, one about, what did I write this week? Founders define reality. Based on the Warren Bennis episode, I wrote a little bit about sort of how founders can, what they really do for their teams is define the reality of the situation and then actually give them hope that they can get to the next milestone. And boy, did I get hundreds and hundreds of people responded to that email. I got 20,000 people on this list. It's the way I communicate with my constituents, and it's equally as important as this program. I mean, and both reach people at different times and in different ways. Email is critical. Please, please go try MailChimp. And for your business, I mean, don't be trying to manage emails in Excel spreadsheets or Google Docs. That's just a total waste of time. Don't be buying desktop software. Use software as a service. What that means is the software's in the cloud. You log in. You send your email and you get all kinds of great statistics. And one of the interesting features they just launched, which we're going to be trying in the next email, is if somebody in your email campaign clicks on a link, you can then categorize them in your database. So like, hey, I got all these 20,000 emails. I don't know who's in what city. And when I say I'm going to London or Paris or Tokyo or New York and I want to meet with people, well, wouldn't it be great if I could just email that segment? Now I can do that. I can send an email that says, hey, click on these links if you're interested in what I'm doing in New York. Click on this link. And then forever I can have that person tagged in the database as a New Yorker or somebody with an interest in New York. You get the idea. You've used MailChimp before.
They have an awesome iPhone app too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, one of the great things about the company is they're doing so well. This is when you bet on a winner and you pick a winner. They're doing so well that now you know that they're going to be on every platform, and you're never going to have to worry like, oh, they're going to come out with an iPad app. Of course they'll come out with. Oh, they're going to have this feature. They're going to have that feature. These guys are in it to win it. They've got dozens and dozens of awesome developers. Can't say enough great things about the product. It just works, and the free plan is always free. 2,000 subscribers for 12,000 emails per month, free. Awesome. Hey, so Megan.
Wait. I noticed something here.
What?
The last couple times you've done MailChimp, there was something missing. There we go.
There you go.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's not his contract. It's in my contract. I've got to. All right, listen, I'm not monkeying around, people. I'm telling you to use MailChimp, okay? See? All right. Hey, Megan, first time reading the news, no pressure. Lon couldn't make it. He's on strike. I think we can't get the contract negotiations once again have broken down.
Unions.
God damn it with Lon. It's always the contract. You never know with him. It's like, he keeps moving up in his career, and then the show takes a back burner, again, whatever. Anyway, Megan, you're going to read the news for the first time. What's the first story?
Yes, indeed. The first story is the incubator debate. Andrew Clay Schaefer recently wrote in a blog post that he thinks the recent explosion of incubators isn't necessarily a good thing. Schaefer argued that unless an incubator can make hands-off to investors personally or get the right audience in the room for demo day, then the value of the program is severely limited. In an article about the post, Malik said that he believes most incubators will end up flaming out. So a question for you guys is, do you agree with Is there a glut of incubators, and are they helping or harming the startup industry?
Well, interestingly enough, we have
in the studio.
Peter here, who just started an incubator with Mike Jones.
To clarify, we call ourselves the studio. And I think the nomenclature of incubator, in the old days, CMGI or Idea Labs.
Yeah,
or
right now there are
companies.
people who are 25 years old who don't know what a CMGI or an Idea Lab is.
So, well, in today's world, it's BetaWorks, Lightbank, right? They incubated Groupon.
Right.
And so, our perspective is a little different. There's accelerators, which is why Combinator originally called themselves an accelerator.
Right.
Techstars is an accelerator. That's the 3 to 4 month class, and you get mentors, and you can have a set start date.
So are there too many or too few or just enough? Are they worth it or not for entrepreneurs? I mean, it's a big question.
Looking at this, 6 years up in the Bay Area, now coming down to LA, the markets are a little bit different. I mean, the entrepreneurs down here don't have the ecosystem, they don't have the mentors, they don't have people to call and run into on a daily basis to get that strong advice.
So it's critical for an emerging market.
I definitely think. Look at New York 4 or 5 years ago, and I think Techstars did a tremendous job.
And BetaWorks,
and
both.
BetaWorks, absolutely.
Yeah. Tons of companies have emerged from them.
Mentorships and advice and help is always necessary, and I think Mucker Labs is doing a great job. Amplify is doing a great job.
Yeah, there's 6 of them now in Los Angeles, and Launchpad, I guess, is the only one that's been multiple years. All of them are in the first year.
Yeah, I mean, look, our perspective.
Mark Suster's Launchpad.
Right. Our perspective is we're a studio company.
Right.
We are all operators. Mike Jones, myself, Ryan Sitt, Mike McAdin, Tom Baird. There's 5 partners. We operate the company on a daily basis. We help recruit the team. I mean, and there's no time set. It's not 30, 60, 90 days.
Right.
We are co-founders of each and every company we're working on.
Yeah, but I mean, this argument that there's too many, the incubator debate is sort of predicated on, the argument that there's too many incubators is predicated on there being too many startups.
Right.
So let's work backwards from that. The bigger picture is, are we producing too many startups with diluted management teams?
So that's a function of the fact that it's easier than ever to start them. Yeah.
Right, and so the question then remains, so that's the reason, and the incubators are a sexy place for guys who are 3rd or 4th time burnt out, founders to then go do something for their ADD that's a little bit more fun, right? It's like more fun for you to work on 3 or 4 companies at once than just one, and it also spreads the risk. And there's an economic reason why 40, 50-year-old guys and gals might want to do these and put their experience to work, and it's fun.
I think they're not all created equal.
Right.
So that's the big piece of it is that maybe the root of the story is there's a lot of people them calling themselves accelerators or incubators, and the reality is the team behind it, right, aren't
successful.
Well,
they're losers. I mean, that's the thing I find is that there's some of these incubators, and I say, who's running it?
Right.
And the person says, it's this guy. I've never heard of that guy. Who's running it again? What have they done? Have they had an exit? Have they raised venture capital? Oh, they worked as a marketing guy at a company that raised venture capital and then got merged with another company that then went out of business and is trading as an over-the-counter pink sheet. I mean, it's like, you do see this, right?
I think I see folks that we don't know about, but maybe there's value there at the end of the day.
Oh, come on now. You're being very magnanimous. I mean, you see there are losers running incubators.
There's too many people that I think fundamentally are not helping the right types of companies. Right. And the other thing I think we start seeing is the dilution of talent is that, especially in the Bay Area, what I was starting to see in the last couple of years is not enough great people are kind of coming together to do one great company.
The dilution of teams. Hey, Marshall, you've been covering this, obviously, story since, well, for the last couple of years. What do you think? Are we just too many incubators now? Are we weakening the ecosystem with too many weak fish,
Oh, I think that there's such a blue ocean of tech innovation that's still out there to capture that spreading out the efforts has a big upside as well in terms of innovation and new technologies. And if there's management training and assistance being made available from a wide variety of sources, I think there's big ups for that too. And there's certain stages in the process, like Techstars last week just released with the Kauffman Foundation, like a global incubator application process for a whole bunch of incubators. So there will be steps taken to alleviate some of the pain points in the process.
Yeah.
The reality is there's 3-4 cities that might have an incubator problem. For every city, you know how many cities wish they had an incubator problem?
Yeah, I guess it's a high-class problem is what you're saying. Like, LA now has 6 incubators, and what that means...
But the population's large, and there's a ton of talent. There's a lot. We're seeing guys out of some of the biggest companies in LA saying, I always thought about doing a startup, but I don't know.
And you guys are like a way for them to get into the pool with some other people, like instead of just jumping into the ocean, and it's like all alone and scary.
It's just, as we all know, we started companies by ourselves, and without having mentors and having people and getting advice, it's hard. And I think access to capital, especially in LA, if you look at the market, there's a lack of confidence with the ability to raise any money down here. And it's what I've been noticing, whereas Silicon Valley, you can kind of go to a Cuba Cafe and run into money.
Right. It's like almost like you were saying before when we were off air, like people here are asking for money, and up there, the VCs are asking them, can I put money in?
Yeah.
It's a totally different dynamic.
Absolutely. And the quality of the entrepreneur and the individual is the same.
You believe the entrepreneurs are the same?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that they're close. With these incubators, if you look at them as, I think what people are missing is, if you look at the incubators as college,
right,
you would say this is the greatest college program ever made.
There you go.
Made because it's free. You have upside that is potentially unlimited and worth hundreds of millions of dollars. You have a steady job for at least 6 months or 3 months or a year working on it, depending on which program you go to. And you're going to learn more in 6 months than you would in 60 years in college. So
DeVry to Harvard, right? I mean, it's the scale is there. At the end of the day, it is going to be an education process.
Yeah. I think, in my mind, I just look at all of them like, they're all just colleges. They're MBA programs. And what a better way to get an MBA to actually do stuff. If you've gone through Techstars or Y Combinator or any of these programs, you are going to be much further along than people who go for MBAs. Right. You're an MBA, right?
No.
Thank God. All right, let's do the next story.
All right, next story. Yahoo hires Scott Thompson as
Who?
Scott Thompson as CEO. Thompson leaves a job running eBay's large PayPal online payments unit. In an interview with All Things D's Kara Swisher, Thompson says he was approached in November about the Yahoo job, although sources said it was just offered this week and took eBay by surprise. Of the position, Thompson said, its potential is still enormous, but the dialogue has not been about what the company is. I want to get this wonderful brand to be where it could be again. So, as a starting point, this is a great starting point. Thompson admitted that his lack of advertising experience could be problematic, as it's Yahoo's biggest business. So the question is, was Thompson the right hire, and will he be able to make any substantial changes? Or would someone with more ad experience have been a better choice?
Let's be honest. Anybody know who Scott Thompson was before?
No.
the announcement. Marshall, did you know who this person was?
I can tell you some interesting things about him, but no.
Okay, so tell us the interesting things about him, because nobody, I don't think anybody really knew who was running it.
That's a shortcking on our part. I mean, the guy has been managing a company that records $1 billion in revenue every quarter. Yeah. And you know, he's no fool. So I think he'll probably be an incredibly capable manager. He's got a financial services background, obviously, but he's also got a computer science background. And at PayPal, he was all about mobile. So if you believe that mobile is an important part of the media and advertising landscape in the future, then Scott Thompson is a great experienced guy to bring that to Yahoo.
What do you think, Peter?
I think Marshall nailed on one piece. He is an engineer.
Right.
I mean that is huge. I mean, you're either a product person, you're an engineer,
or a salesperson, Tim Armstrong.
Or a salesperson.
Yeah.
It is,
Steve
that last line, right? Thompson admitted that his lack of advertising experience could be problematic. I mean, Yahoo at the end of the day is a advertising company.
Yeah,
they
but
are
I mean,
the largest publisher in the world.
Larry Page and Sergey Brin had a ton of advertising experience before they built the largest advertising platform in the world.
I like that he's an engineer.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. I mean,
like
Facebook. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg. What was Mark Zuckerberg's advertising experience? I mean, if you build a product that gets great traction in the market, the advertising solves itself. So that's just.
It's a great start. That again, having a technology background.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Well, the thing I liked about it was I saw in the interview he said at PayPal he spent 60% on building the current platform. And maintaining it or whatever, 30% on what was coming next, and 10% on speculative products. Which I don't think I ever heard Carol Bartz talk about what their product strategy was, ever. You know, she fought with Mike Arrington famously, she, got into it with Kara Swisher on stage. Why not talk about product? Yeah. And I think this is one of the lessons here is like a product-driven person is going to attract other product-driven people. Right. So he's going to, I think, get some respect from potential hires
and hopefully retain,
some talent.
Some talent.
Yeah, but you gotta wonder what talent is left at Yahoo.
I don't know.
At this point, I mean, if you have this many incubators, if you have any hustle and this much angel investing, wouldn't you leave Yahoo?
Well,
I
think
stays
in the
at Yahoo
Valley,
at this point?
In the Valley, right? I mean, they're getting recruited by Google. They're getting recruited by Twitter. They're getting recruited by Facebook.
Airbnb.
I mean,
Dropbox.
There's a lot of great opportunities out there, and I think the ones that choose still bleed purple.
I guess so. It just feels like if you're working at Yahoo, I wonder, like, what are you thinking? Like, is all these other opportunities around you?
It's still a massive property. It's still, I still use, I mean, I think, I
don't
know why I still use
turmoil.
it for fantasy football.
Yeah, but the management turmoil, it's just, you got to wonder with all that management turmoil.
It's still 500 million uniques?
Yeah, it's something crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I guess okay, let's hear the next one.
Google Plus sees massive membership growth. Google Plus recently had its strongest month ever, and at least according to one analyst, is on track to reach 400 million users by the end of the year.
Are you going to read this whole entire thing?
It is quite long, so I'll probably have to cut it out.
Pick your favorite two bullets. Just a little tip on reading the news.
Sure.
Pick two.
Pick two. Okay, for sure. So
I mean, it's basically, I feel like I'm reading the Wall Street Journal here. Go ahead.
It's quite lengthy, for sure. Experian Hitwise reported Monday that Google's social networking site experienced a huge traffic jump in December and more than doubled its traffic in just 1 month. Let's see. This growth rate is significant since Facebook, which is now at 800 million users, didn't pass 60 million members until nearly 4 years after its debut. At this rate, Allen predicts Google Plus will reach 400 million users by the end of 2012.
What?
So do you think Google Plus membership will pass Facebook in the future? And will the increase in Android phone sales be a big contributing factor to Google Plus's success?
I'm trying to figure out how you get from 60 to 400 million. 20 if they add 20 million people a month.
I think he's doing percentage month-over-month growth.
I think he's being a little aggressive there, but
quite aggressive.
For me, I look at
compounded. That thing is compounding the growth.
Yeah, big time. I think they're going to take a third of the market. They'll be Yahoo to Google, in this equation. Yeah. And so this puts them well on the way. I mean, this puts them on the way to half of, but of course Facebook's not standing still.
Right. Facebook will be past,
a billion.
Easy.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's, you use it?
On and off, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
what about you,
it's
Mark?
a different conversation.
I post every day to Google Plus, not nearly as much as I do to Twitter. And I'm cheering for them, but I think there are signs that it doesn't look fantastic.
What are those signs?
Well, specifically, so it's hard to know how much activity there really is, right, with all these users. That's what everybody says. It's one thing to have new users. It's another to have active. But one place you can look is at the new brand pages. About 6 weeks ago, they opened up, let brands create their own pages, and everybody rushed in and created one. But now, 4 to 6 weeks later, there's almost no activity there. It's declined substantially. Only 30% of the top 100 brands are posting more than 3 times a week, according to Simply Measured. And that's not a good indicator to me. Yeah,
when the brands are going to be motivated to be where the customers are, and there's not a lot of customers here. But the fact that they're even participating, I mean, it does say something. And I think this makes them the second largest social network now. And the product is great. So I'm very bullish on it, I think, because you said before the conversation is different there.
The conversations, I mean,
how is it different?
You notice it, I'm sure, and I'm sure
I want to hear your
is when you post on Google Plus, because it's not 140 characters, because it's also public, a little bit different conversation. So I still post different things on Facebook versus Twitter versus Google Plus, and it is hard to maintain 3. And it's for people who have ADD like us, we can probably do it. For the mass population is hard.
Which one?
I still
use more.
I use Twitter.
Twitter's the most, but after Twitter, which one?
Facebook, and then and then Google Plus.
Interesting.
Twitter's just too easy. Twitter's too easy to not do it all the time.
Yeah, Marsha?
I'm on the suggested users list of Google Plus, and I have far more followers there than on Twitter. But if I post something that doesn't have a link in it, and then opens up a real visually compelling preview, what have you, I get no comments at all. I've tried it over and over again. Really different from Twitter in that way.
You don't get any comments on Google Plus?
Unless I post a link. Then lots of comments, lots of discussions. But
that's a fascinating observation. Why is that?
Nothing. I think it's a
visual design.
I think it's a visual wasteland potentially if you don't post a link with an image and a preview, and people who are using the service are so hungry for something other than white space, they just gravitate towards that. I
will say what they've gotten right. The resharing feature. Really seems to work.
I do the +1s on articles.
Yeah, the +1s. Like I was just on my Android. I had the Samsung, which is really a great company. They're kicking ass right now. Ass doesn't get me a swear jar, right?
No, I shouldn't.
So I need clarification. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, they're kicking butt. And that Samsung Galaxy 2, I mean, it is such an amazing phone. And now I went in the App Store, and I'm looking at apps, and it's telling me which one of my friends have +1'd the apps. Well, that's the biggest problem with apps today, which is
social.
Which app should I download? There's too many apps, and now to see which one, they don't have a list of like which ones your friends have plus the most.
Lately? YouTube now, my homepage on YouTube is awesome.
Yeah,
I get to see what my friends are +1ing.
Yeah, they've just done.
To me, those are the little nuances where
+1 is helpful. This is why Google is desperate to not be Microsoft. This is why they've just become Microsoft, because Google Buzz, Orkut, was, charming but small, didn't work. Buzz was fascinating, but they stopped, building on it. So it was like, oh, well, you're fascinating start, but then you gave up. And then third time, oh my God, it's good.
It's good.
And then that means the next version 4 is going to be great, and the 5th version is going to be excellent. That's exactly how Microsoft killed everybody in the world in desktop applications. WordPerfect 5.0, 10.0 was laughing at Microsoft Word, or Excel was considered, laughable compared to Lotus 123. We're seeing it happen in front of our eyes. Google is relentless now.
Well, look at Mail. Gmail version 1 now to now. Google Docs version 1 to now. I mean,
Google Docs is becoming a viable competitor to Microsoft Office.
There's a big difference, though, which is in Google Plus, I don't think of it as my friends at all, the people I'm interacting with. Where Facebook I tend more to. And there's much more value in what your friends are doing, what movies they're watching. You said, what your friends or apps they're liking or whatever. When you have all those people following you on G+, and you have more than you do on Twitter, certainly more than on Facebook, but how relevant are those people to you personally? I don't know. But what this reminds me of, in terms of prognosticating the potential success of G+, is much like trading with the yen.
Insight from Tyler. It's like trading with the yen.
Yes.
Hold on. Whoa. By yen, you mean the Japanese currency, clearly.
Yes.
And trading.
Yes.
with the yen.
Yes.
In the stock market?
Yes. The foreign exchange.
The foreign exchange. So if you trade with the yen.
Yes.
And the yen, it's been a decade of.
No, it's been about 4 years of decline.
4 years of decline.
Very steep decline, yeah.
Yeah, a very steep decline of the yen.
No pun intended.
And so how does that relate to Google?
Because right now, if you trade...
This is the insight I was not able to...
Right. No, you will though, watch. So with Japan right now, Japan's own government...
Oh, buy on the dip.
...is trying to... The currency is so strong right now at 77 yen to the dollar that it's hurting their own economy.
Wow.
Right? People will not buy Toyotas because Toyota's too expensive because the yen's so strong. Right. It's a problem for Japan.
Right.
So Japan's own bank goes in and says, right, well, we can fix this. It's in our power to fix it. We will devalue our own currency by flooding the market with paper, right? Mm-hmm. And you can benefit from that in that trade.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So Google, in the same way, can very easily, at any time they feel like things aren't going their right way, start featuring those brand pages that Peter's talking about in the Google result for that brand.
Sure.
And it's like
so what you're saying is with Google's massive traffic footprint, they can print money. They can tell the story of Google Plus's growth themselves.
Correct.
I agree with that. Yeah. And I think that you saw it when they put it in the top left of the navigation. That was a sign that I think that was a massive turning point.
And that could just get bigger and bigger or smaller and
smaller? Or it could be on the homepage. Or when you load the homepage, it could be, your feed could be underneath the search box. I mean, the thing that Google, it's really interesting here is, people say Google will never change that homepage. They're never going to be a design-driven company. Blah blah. Larry Page takes over. Steve Jobs dies. Steve Jobs,
never's a big word.
Never's a big word. And they're never going to be a content company. But they bought Zagat. YouTube. It's not a content company, but they're hosting the election debates. They're giving $100 million to companies.
They're doing live.
Yeah, they're giving $100 million to content companies. We're not a content company. I mean, it's a little bit. Strange.
It's Google.
It's Google. They're now Microsoft. Hey, we have a new advertiser, which means I should have like a little horn here. I can be like, and they are Sourcebits. Hey, Sourcebits is a leader in mobile app development and software design. I met with the guys when I was up in San Francisco. Really smart team. They do design-led engineering, and they count Hershey's, GE, and Coca-Cola among their clients. And actually, it was interesting. They're backed by Sequoia, which I found out later, which is always nice. And just really well-designed stuff here on my iPad. I have loaded this really interesting app they made, BOA for iPad, and actually used the nightstand. We both had the nightstand app. We throw on the list of their apps. But they know how to do really great design. This app shows you, demographics in your area versus other places. And they're a design house, so you can go get design services for them, have them build your iPad app, and everybody's behind the 8 ball on apps. And Sourcebits has all these great engineering teams. And
more than the engineering, though, their differentiator in my mind is their design is so smooth and nice. Like this is my app that I use for my wake up.
That's your wake up app, yeah.
And
it's so funny because I was looking for a nightstand app.
It's the details. They put the weather.
They built that for you?
Yeah, no, I mean you download it in the store, but they got the weather and everything. It's slick. The details.
Right. And you can pick all the different styles. You pick what style. Yeah. Smart guys.
Check. You want to see one of the coolest animations I've seen on an iPhone?
What's that?
The world clock. Watch this when I turn it.
Woo. Oh yeah, sweet. Yeah, so they get the details, is what you're saying.
Totally.
Yeah, so design-driven, they're up in San Francisco, and let's face it, everybody's behind on building apps, and there's not a lot of app talent out there. These guys have brought a bunch together. If you're a brand, if you're a startup, if you're a large company, small, medium-sized business, whatever it is, go check out Sourcebits. Really great guys, and I really appreciate them partnering with us on the show and helping us bring these great entrepreneurial stories and tech news to you guys. Sourcebits, www.sourcebits.com. Tell them Uncle Jason sent you. And thanks for sponsoring the show. Great job, guys. All right, next story.
All right, Walmart Labs makes tech acquisition. Walmart's technology division, Walmart Labs, has acquired Small Society, a mobile agency in Portland, Oregon, for an undisclosed sum.
Speaking of mobile, right? Everybody's behind the 8 ball. Good.
In a blog post, Walmart said that the company will join another acquisition it made in the Northwest, and both will work closely with its Silicon Valley offices. Small Society has developed apps for large organizations, including the Democratic National Committee, Zipcar, and Starbucks. So why would Walmart choose to build its own e-commerce platforms and social media tools rather than rely on existing options?
Because retail is about to get screwed.
And actually they bought for $300 million Cosmix.
Cosmix, yeah.
which now those guys run the division.
Super smart guys.
Yeah.
The Cosmic guys are
Yeah.
really brilliant engineers.
Yeah, it was sort of like in like mini competition in the early days. We're through like sort of topic pages, landing pages before that business got decimated. So what do you think? What's Walmart's motivation here?
They realize that Amazon is winning. And if they don't go digital, they're going to lose. And this great article, did you read why Best Buy is going to go out of business on, is it Fortune?
That was a good article.
Great article. And you read this article and you realize people aren't going to go to physical stores anymore. I mean,
and what do we do with all these physical huge stores? I mean, are they just going to be
really cool loft conversions?
No, seriously. I mean, does that mean like a Walmart gets?
No, Walmart. I think. Look, Walmart is massive. It's the Best Buys of the world that I'm absolutely concerned about. The Walmarts. I think Walmart will always be Costco, Walmarts of the world.
Right.
Need to exist.
Interesting. What do you think, Marshall? What is Walmart up to here?
Oh, Walmart is building an incredible team over there in that mobile labs division. I mean, these folks here at Small Society are friends of mine from Portland, but they're putting together just a knockout team. They've got Ben and Dion, formerly of Palm and Google, and the One Riot guys, in addition to Cosmics, Iran Hammer Lahav, that led the creation of OAuth, the spec that made mashups between so many apps possible. It's just a dream team of bleeding edge engineers.
What are they building?
Together.
I mean, what have we seen out of Walmart that's in any way impressive?
So they're building mobile and social shopping apps that you're going to be able to use in the store that will it'll take note of what you're buying, of where you are in the store, and they'll serve up recommendations. They'll create all kinds of value-added services on top of real-time, super targeted shopping experiences using the mobile devices you're carrying around in your phone. You know, retailers are concerned that people go into stores and they look up reviews on Amazon or elsewhere, and then they leave the store and go buy someplace else. And really, like, cutting-edge retailers are saying, let's flip that around and turn that into an asset instead of a liability, that mobile device.
So you come into the store and then you look up the reviews and you see the price.
I do that all the time. I mean,
if the price is the same, do you buy it?
It depends, honestly.
Or do you just want to have it delivered because you have Amazon Prime?
Sometimes it depends on how large the physical object is.
Right. You're just like, I don't want to. It gets to the point where you're like, I don't want to even carry it. Do you have Amazon Prime?
Of course.
Do you have Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
Megan, do you have Amazon Prime?
I just don't know
and
what to
then
do
what
with the
about
boxes.
you, Marshall? Do you have Amazon Prime?
No, I don't.
What? What, Marshall?
I shop local stores here in Portland most of the time, to be honest.
Oh, he's a hippie, man. Your Oregon doesn't count.
It's like a hippie commune up there.
It is a hippie commune. Do you make your own soy milk up there? What's going on?
If I could get something with a bird on it, on Amazon, I probably would.
No, but it's like when you talk to Amazon, Amazon Prime is a cult. I think Amazon Prime is going to trump.
Christmas every 3 days.
It's absolutely going to trump Mormonism, Scientology, and Catholicism. Amazon Prime is the religion of the future because I now take out my phone.
I should know what to do with the boxes. My
I know,
big
I have a
problem
whole
is
bunch
I'm having box anxiety as well.
Yeah.
Are you having box anxiety? You don't buy that much.
I don't buy that.
What's the joke they
Every
call
now
Amazon?
and
They're
then.
deforesting.
The deforesting. I'm trying to figure out, I do with the boxes. I give them to my daughter and we draw on them and stuff like that. But I've been in a battle with my wife over mouthwash. She's like crazy organic into everything healthy. And I'm like, I'm an old school guy from the 50s. I like my Listerine, like the one that burns your throat.
You don't use electric shaver. You're still old school.
Nah, I'm using a straight razor, Anyway, so we're in this battle. She keeps giving me the organic, terrible mouthwash. You use it and you feel like you're drinking sugar. And so I go on Amazon Prime. She goes, yeah, you can order stuff automatically. I'm like, oh, I win the war. I go on, I find the amount, the one I like. I calculate how many ounces I'm going to use in 10 seconds. I'm like, I'll probably use one of those every 3 months. I pick once every 3 months. They ship me the bottle of Listerine for $4. They give you 15% off just by putting it on reoccurring.
Yeah.
Subscription commerce. That's their own version of subscription commerce.
I mean, think about it. Free shipping of a big, large bottle, of a half gallon of a couple of liters of this stuff.
The carbon footprint on that might be questionable.
No, but the carbon footprint winds up netting the same because if we have all these cars going there, I have to drive my car. It's not like I'm walking to, Whole Foods to get this organic garbage mouthwash.
I didn't even know organic mouthwash existed.
Anyway. But I mean, I think that this is the future, is that people are just going to put everything on automatic. It's brought to their house, and they never go to retail again.
Walmart, I think they're...
Getting back to Walmart, this is why they're in trouble, is because of your excitement, and that I have as well. I know Peter has it.
I'm getting excited by mouthwash.
I know.
But the first thing people are going to do when they listen, I guarantee you, people are going to listen to the show, and they're going to go, they're going to go set up mouthwash and toothpaste on automatic renew. Why would you waste the cycles in your life to think about toothpaste and mouthwash when you could automatically have it brought to your house? Unless you don't have a doorman or something, I understand that.
Well, I think if you look at Shopkick, right, in terms of the mobile, I think Walmart could start doing what Shopkick's been doing.
What do they do?
It's mobile app. When you walk in the store, you say offers, and it might unlock offers. It says, go over to the TV section and I'll get a $5 coupon for something else. It physically makes you do things in the store to unlock coupons. It's really interesting.
The smart thing Walmart's done, though, to protect themselves is put supermarkets in their stores.
Right. You can't get milk on delivery.
And gas stations. So they're putting these things.
There are some consumables you're not going to get, but I mean,
they bundle that with their store, so now you're going there anyways, and you might as well pick up the thing.
Essentially, you can go there and get anything.
Plus, their pricing.
But you can get Amazon Prime. I mean, if you live in the boondocks of nowhere, you live in the outbacks of Alaska or Montana or whatever, in some podunk 2-stoplight town, you can get whatever we can get, as quickly as we can get it. That's what Amazon has done. Is that what people want? Or do they want a Walmart that's 2 hours away?
People, there are people still like touching and feeling products.
Can you get that will exist through Amazon Prime?
Not yet.
See?
I don't want to say anything. You can get a gun about 2 miles from this office here.
Right, no. You can at Walmart.
You can buy guns at Walmart?
Yes!
Yeah. I didn't know that. Oh. All right, next story. Now we're obsessing.
All right, next story. Chrome extension warns you when you browse a SOPA supporter's website.
Genius!
The Chrome browser extension No SOPA gives users a warning message reading, SOPA supporter. This company is a known supporter of the dangerous Stop Online Piracy Act.
Okay, now go to the question.
Okay. So does anyone want to step up and defend SOPA?
Yeah, great. I'm sure that... No, I mean the more important thing is, what about the SOPA blackout day, Marshall? What's the chances? Do you think that will happen? And if it does happen, what does that say about where we've come as a society?
And Google's on it, Facebook's on it.
Yeah, but we have to actually unplug the internet, Marshall.
Oh, I don't know what it says. Things are crazy, but it seems like it's inevitable that this battle is going to happen. I mean, I've read that outside of the United States, people refer to this as the Great Firewall of the United States, but vested interests just insist on trying to assert control over the web. So the grand battle between hackers and control freaks will have to happen someday. It may as well happen now, I suppose.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing is how quickly it didn't seem like anybody was mobilized, and then it seemed like Reddit and some of these other places, like everybody is like, whoa, this is aware. And I really think that infographic, like you have to understand, Congress has to understand how the internet works. It's no longer okay to not understand, and we have to understand how Congress works. Like, it's very interesting. In the early days of the internet, I remember John Perry Barlow telling me the government and the forces at work are going to stop the internet. I said, they can't stop the internet. What are they going to do? He's like, they'll pass laws. I'm like, they can't pass laws about the internet. What are they going to do? Put people in jail for using the internet? And like now it's coming to that.
Basically coming.
That's what they're going to do. I mean, Chad Hurley's going to be like led away in cuffs for creating. That's the insanity of this. Like, if you don't have the ability to open a forum or it's a bulletin board, it's like saying the person who provides a Volvo is responsible if somebody runs a red light or does a hit and run. Like, how is YouTube responsible for the copyright infringement of the people who use it? I mean, why don't they individually prosecute people? They put that kid in jail for the Hulk thing or whatever. The guy who stole the work print of the Hulk or whatever, he's in jail for a year or two. Like, consumers are going to get the message, don't steal, if you put individuals in jail.
I don't think it did, because the record industry tried to sue the bejesus out of all those downloaders, and they did, and people didn't stop downloading music.
Well, obviously the better thing is to provide a solution that's fair and easy to use.
Better product.
Yeah. Well, a better product, or just like give them what they want at the price they want. I mean, it doesn't have to be free. I mean, the $1 App Store has shown that, 99-cent music has shown that, but wouldn't that be an amazing day if Google didn't work? For the love of God, can we turn the internet off for a day? That'd be great.
That would be good.
Awesome.
Yeah, like why don't we have like every first... let's have like every first Friday the internet goes off.
But getting back to the SOPA question, doesn't whoever's behind this bill realize when Google and Facebook and the whole frickin' internet...
Oh, they'll be voted out of office.
You have to
This is
realize
great,
you're
actually.
a schmuck.
This is going to be great for the internet. You know what this is? This is the moment in time when
people.
Well, when power to the people, but I really think that what this is the generational shift. Young people versus old people. This is the moment at which the old people say, enough is enough, we have to control this thing, and young people say, hell no. And
Get the
get off my internets.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you that these senators and congressmen have no idea of the wrath of my personal army.
Don't mess with the World of Warcraft.
Don't mess with. People know I'm loosely affiliated with the anonymous movement.
Yeah. Go ahead and address your people.
Let me address my people. This is a message to Anonymous, to my legions. You have been given permission to now take down all senators and organizations that are pro-SOPA. Oh wait, you're doing that already. Carry on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to endorse illegal behavior or harassment of individuals who support SOPA. But I am going to laugh my ass off when you hack into their accounts and show them wearing tutus or whatever, sick, demented.
Slightly harassing.
Yeah, when you break into their emails and show how many times they're on Craigslist trolling for whatever, I can't wait. If you're one of these goddamn congressmen or senators with all your goddamn stuff and skeletons in your closet, why on earth would you poke the tiger? Get the F off our internet. Seriously.
It's kind of crazy.
It's going to be awesome. This is going to be like the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
It's like, notice.
Oh, 2.
I know, I don't have change. I'm putting the 20 in. What am I going to do? I mean, Marshall, I know you're there wondering what the hell's going on over here. What are the chances that SOPA passes? You've been following it. What are the chances?
Legal specialists say that the odds aren't good for this particular legislation, but that it isn't alone, and that there's more to come. So
right. So this one, and see, this is the problem. I almost don't want people to think that this is going to get resolved.
No way.
This is going to be an ongoing battle, and you know what will happen is there'll be some terrorist attack, and you know what? All those loony people who are like the government is taking over, and they're using the war and they're using 9/11 to spy on us, they were right. Who knew that these loopy people who when they're like, the government just wants to read all your emails, they did it. They were right. The insane people who were walking in the street with the signs, they were right for once. The government took all of AT&T's feeds and they're listening to everything we're talking about. They're taking everybody's email, no warrants. It's out of control.
You clearly aren't using the Google Chrome incognito mode enough.
That doesn't even matter. Google, I think that it's gotten so out of control now that it's going to take serious, I think it's going to take guerrilla warfare. I don't think that this will be solved through peaceful means. I think that the forces are so intent on invading 100% of our privacy and so intent on taking over the internet and shutting it down and controlling it, that the only hope we have is not legislation. It's people like Anonymous and Reddit personally attacking and harassing these people to the point at which they realize, don't F with the internet. You cannot, we want it, we earned it, we own it, it's not yours. It's going to take personal, attacks on these people, and I don't endorse them.
So sometimes those groups are wrong, though. Was it Reddit? Was it Gawker? Was it Daily Dot? I can't remember who reported the other day about an angry mob descending on a congressman for alleged support of SOPA.
And he wasn't a supporter. Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. It's going to happen all over. This is what when I don't want to bring up terrorism, but when terrorists have a point. And then they blow up and kill a bunch of people who were innocent bystanders, then the point gets negated, and this is going to turn into, it's all turning into a science fiction novel in front of our eyes. If you step back for a minute and you just watch from 9/11, the creation of the internet, 9/11, and now SOPA, this is a science fiction novel for control of information and for personal freedom between corporate entities and the powers that have money who are now losing power. Whether it's the Arab Spring or it's Verizon, AT&T or George Bush or Big Oil, they're all losing all their power. And they're doing whatever it is to hold on.
Yep.
It's all lobbyists anyways, at the end of the day.
Next story.
Okay. Amazon further squeezes retail chains. Major retail chains released their December sales figures, which were largely disappointing, while Amazon's outlook remained bright. Wall Street forecast a 40% year-over-year sales growth for Amazon in the last quarter.
Wow.
Barnes & Noble, whose biggest competitor is Amazon, expects retail same-store sales to grow a meager 1% this year. Target's December sales were below expectations in electronics and music and movies and books. Best Buy also reported lousy sales growth and predicted declining margins, with comparable store sales growing only 0.3% during the fourth quarter. While e-commerce makes up less than 5% of U.S. retail sales, that number continues to grow while brick-and-mortar figures decline. So questions for you guys are, Amazon has had success with the Kindle Fire, so should they still be focusing most of their energy on e-commerce or hardware or both?
What should Amazon be doing at this point, Marshall?
Building their own distribution network. Take out the carriers, trucks.
Take out the... you think they should buy UPS
yes.
or FedEx?
Yeah.
I think that's brilliant.
So here's the thing. I was on the phone, because I have Amazon Prime. I get a text message when it gets delivered. Mm-hmm. Brilliant.
You do?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah.
What?
That's a feature.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm setting that up.
Yeah.
Set that up.
So it gets delivered, and it says it's delivered, and I go to my front door, and it's not there. So I wait a couple hours, still not there. So I call up UPS. You said it's here. UPS says it's here. It's not here. And then they said, oh, well, the shipper has to initiate the whatnot. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Call Amazon. Amazon's incredibly nice about the whole thing. And the lady on the phone at UPS says, yeah, Amazon. I get them both on the phone. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're going to play that game? Watch this. Boom, you're both on. Talk to each other, right? And the girl from Amazon says, don't worry, we'll figure this out. And UPS girl, your data's wrong. We know how to do this better than you do. You can hang up the phone now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because the girl in UPS was saying, oh, you have to call this other phone number. And
Right.
Amazon's like, yeah, right, no. Hang up the phone. We know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I hang up the phone with UPS, and Amazon says, I said, you know, you guys should just buy UPS. She goes, well, God, what was her wording? Her wording was like, let me just say, I go, you should do your own. You should ship your own or do your own shipping in small cities and test it out. She's like, well, I can't really say too much, but
They did have something like that.
she goes,
Day of delivery.
It wouldn't surprise me if I said Jeff should buy Amazon or UPS or something. She goes, it wouldn't surprise me if he does, but I can't say too much about that.
Right.
And she said a little more, but I was like, wow, sounds like they're already doing.
Makes sense.
It's clearly that would be a great brand extension. I think even the retail stores, which I heard from people that they've been mulling over, I think doing small outlets where you go just to learn about the products, get support.
That's what Best Buy's for.
Which is what Best Buy is for. Best Buy is the Amazon showroom.
Yes, it is.
And so why don't they just make an Amazon showroom?
Did you see the one where they have these boxes at the PO boxes, so you can accept delivery lockers for people who
in Seattle. So she was telling me this as well.
Lockers?
In Seattle, Amazon
delivery.
gives you lockers where the business can have these lockers and you have it shipped there and you can pick it up there if you want in this locker.
How do you get it out of the locker? I have a key?
They give you a code.
They give you a
There's
code, yeah.
So your
Digital.
package comes, there's going to be a code assigned to this locker, you walk up, it's one-time use.
So you can put it at a train station?
It's for people who can't take delivery of boxes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so genius. Isn't that how it works in China? Like everything's like either cash on demand, cash on delivery, COD, or they have like lockers kind of a thing. But that's brilliant. So you take out your smartphone or you look at an email, you get the code, and that locker code changes.
A lot of people can't accept delivery.
No, I mean, when I was in New York, I couldn't accept delivery because I wasn't home during the day.
Your neighbor's going to steal your stuff.
Right, so leave it on my doorstep? No. Put a flat panel TV on the doorstep? It was crazy. Interesting. That's a great idea.
So delight users, use data, optimize the process, and be thinking about mobile, right?
Yep.
Amazon, Walmart, probably too early to write anybody off that's ready to jump in and make a serious bet and all that put together.
Best Buy's
the
there.
future will look super different.
Those are things Barnes & Noble isn't really doing other than the Nook. But here's the chart of the week for Barnes & Noble. They just did their earnings report.
Yeah.
You pull up my screen here. And this was, for me personally, I'm kicking myself for not having done this trade because over Christmas, I was buying last-minute stuff that was sold out on Amazon at Barnes & Noble. And when I got there, I had some books that I had gotten as gifts that I had not cracked were still in saran wrap. And I go to Barnes & Noble, I'm like, here's some of these big, can I exchange these for these other things I want to get? No, there's no exchanges of anything of any kind. I'm like, is that just this location? Like, I think it's this. So I went to like 3 locations. Every location at Barnes & Noble now, no exchanges of any kind.
Right. So they're so desperate now. They're so playing on their heels.
Right.
They're so tilted that they're ruining the customer experience to try to preserve what little revenue on their declining scale they have.
That was my indication.
That's a super tell.
It's
like when the airlines start like taking stuff away and
It's Best Buy restocking fees. It started a long time ago.
Best Buy restocking fees.
They are horrible returns.
I've never bought anything at Best Buy. I would never buy any. Why would you buy something at Best Buy instead of ordering it on Amazon?
Look at the numbers.
Yeah, it's crazy. Only 5% of commerce occurs online right now.
Yeah, but this was a 20%
We're 2 decades
drop.
into this. What, really? Only 5%? I mean, why doesn't all of it occur?
You actually still can't buy cars online.
You can't buy them. I mean, eBay Motors.
No.
At eBay Motors, you know what eBay Motors?
Which is weird.
There's a brand new car online.
No,
I did.
You can't transact and fill out the paperwork.
I just bought a Toyota online.
What?
I did. The new electric plug-in Prius.
You paid for it online?
I didn't pay for it.
No,
online.
so you ordered it, but you're going to go in and do that paperwork in the store.
It's against the law. Isn't that weird, by the way?
It's a protectionist
thing. You cannot buy a car.
Well, even eBay. I just saw that on eBay. Somebody bought like a classic car on eBay Motors, a Corvette, whatever, and then they weren't able to buy it. And they said eBay they do these auctions for cars, but you don't actually buy the car. Right. You, on honor system, have bought the car, but either party can back out.
Right.
So I mean,
they use escrow services. It's
no, there's no escrow service.
Oh, really?
No, you have to go to the dealer and then give the money, so you can back out. Unlike other things in their system with escrow services, they don't do that for cars. Crazy. Next story.
Iowa tested social media's ability to make political predictions. Although politicians are active in the social media sphere, Twitter, Facebook, and the like didn't appear to play much of a role in Mitt Romney's victory in the Iowa caucus. Jen Deering-Davis of TweetReach, a social media analytics service, said, "We track more tweets in an hour about a single TV show than we have in 5 days about all 9 candidates." If the outcome had been predicted by social media scorecards alone, Ron Paul would have been the clear-cut winner, as he garnered considerable pre-caucus hype on Twitter and in the tech press. While political movements like Occupy have taken off with the help of social media, when will we see it become a bigger factor in elections?
What do you think, Marshall?
I think that elections are such a cluster that that all bets are off when you look. You can pick a Hollywood blockbuster by frequency of tweets. You can use tweets really well in and day out Gov 2.0 stuff. They have been for years in Iowa, in particular, just using it to communicate with constituents. But come crazy election season, there's just too many factors, too much on the line, and it just gets too loopy to predict anything. Yeah,
and also the people who vote tend to be much older.
Yeah.
And this is very much an age thing. I mean, 15, 16, 17-year-old people are like probably the majority of the voting populace are over 40, I'm guessing. And this must correlate exactly with Twitter usage. Like it increases as your age decreases and voting increases as your age increases. So it's a negative correlation. It's just, it's just so obvious. And also, you have such a terrible group of people running in that primary, and it's such a small little primary that, I mean, what were Barack Obama's statistics? He was off the charts. Why? He appealed to young people. I mean, this is really a generational thing. There's no young people voting for any of these Republicans. I mean, anybody under 40 who's voting for one of these Republicans is an idiot. I mean, they're all terrible. I mean, except for Ron Paul. Ron Paul's got actually sort of a point of view, but these other guys are terrible. Yes, is social media going to have any impact?
It will.
Of course, yeah. On the main election, it will.
The main election, absolutely.
Yeah. But it turns out most of what it's really good for is doing fundraising, and
big news cycle and big kind of controversial news pieces.
The politicians are not in control of, right?
No.
So what else? How does it play a role? Definitely fundraising is the main way.
How about Google Plus Hangouts? Will we see all 9? Probably not.
Yeah, exactly.
Back to the point that I think is underlying this number 7 is when you get enough people on Twitter, the aggregate data can be used in interesting ways. Like there's supposed to be some slight pre-indicators to stock market activity based on
Stocktwits. I mean, sentiment analysis is there.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, nobody's made it work. You're saying that You believe it's going to work? I mean, if it's worked, why aren't people trading based on it?
No, from my understanding, there are.
There are. There's a lot of great social data.
The big industry banks are spending time looking at that stuff.
So they look at it just like they might read a newspaper story or message board forums in the past?
Every single big investment bank has one guy dedicated to trying to crack that nut, because if they can.
I don't think they've cracked it, is my point, though.
They probably don't talk about it.
If they did, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't. It's a rigged game.
Why would they?
Well, that's what. Whenever anybody pitches me on that, we're going to do sentiment analysis on stocks. It's going to be a great startup. I'm like, and then we're going to charge $100 a month.
Howard's doing a good job at Stocktwits.
Are they? I mean, that just seems more like a community. Like that seems more like a sports community.
Well, people are then using that fire hose to then plug it into their own hedge to then do analysis. I'm a huge fan of social data, doing sentiment analysis and making predictions.
Yeah, I just don't know that if it's there yet. And also, how do they actually know when somebody says like this is dope that it's not or this is bad, like it's bad, like it's bad, it's good, like where people use words that are not specific. They're running it through Mechanical Turk and asking a human to then sample it and say it's up or down. That's what I've heard.
You cross-reference your zip code and find out what people mean in that zip code when they say that.
Exactly. What do they say, Marshall?
Sentiment analysis is a dark art, requires a lot of manual labor for sure, but a person can certainly discover a lot of interesting things by doing social graph analysis for expert and emerging information discovery, if you will.
See, now this is where Marshall's going to have a really good startup, which, are you raising an angel round?
Isn't that what he's doing? It's what you're doing, right?
Are you raising a round?
I'd love to talk about that offline.
This is what you got to do. You got to get me to be the referrer on AngelList. You know what? There's a referral.
Is amazing.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
I think AngelList and Kickstarter and Second Market save the economy.
Naval,
I think it's the future of the whole United States. Job creation, everything. Anything that Obama's doing, they should stop. Take all that money, just give it to Naval, Nivi, give it to Kickstarter, Yancey, and give it to Barry over at Second Market. Just take whatever $1 billion, give them each $300 million, and say just give it to anybody who you think deserves it.
Talk about startup economy. I mean, Naval and
but I sent something out to, as the referrer. I'm now like the number 3 or 4 user on there in terms of followers. It's 7,000 followers.
I need some followers in it.
Then I forwarded it, and it said that 700 of them were accredited investors.
Really?
And then the person told me they set up 24 meetings because of it. And then another person, in which we won't say who, said they closed their round in 2 weeks after I did that for them.
Wow.
So if there's a thing where somebody can be the referrer, and Fred Wilson just referred somebody, it's basically if somebody like Fred or me or whoever refers somebody, you instantly get all these meetings, and then angel investors are lemmings. Everybody's just like, oh, this is hot. What?
We saw the same thing. I did a couple deals on AngelList.
Yeah.
And it's like investors.
Boom, it's so powerful. Yeah. I love the idea of sentiment analysis, though, around specific groups of people and topics, Marshall. That's brilliant. So if you had 100 people who were technology experts, and you took just the top 100 pundits, MG Siegler, you, me, Ryan Block, Peter Rojas, whatever, people who write about Apple, and then you said, give me all their posts that mention Apple or these specific products, and then did sentiment analysis on, or just analysis of, their discussion of the latest MacBook Pro or Thunderbolt, how valuable would that real-time Thunderbolt trend information be to somebody? And would they be able to make some sort of bet on Thunderbolt? Or something else, right?
In a community that you're already a part of, that you're tracking closely, that might be less valuable than in a community that you're jumping into from the outside quickly and looking for that kind of information.
Right. So if there was a group of people who were in the mobile advertising space, and I don't know who are the people in mobile advertising, and I hear them talking about the new iAds president, to get some analysis of what they think of that appointment.
You're essentially getting into weighted sentiment analysis, which is like clout mixed with sentiment analysis.
And everybody makes fun of clout. Chris Sacca's dogging clout. He's like, he opted out of clout. He doesn't. I think he's got like a philosophical thing of putting a number on a person's value, which I understand. Yeah. But we need to get done. It's like I'm falling apart.
2.
Well, of course I have to do it in 2s because I only have 20s. But there's a great story that somebody told me. I don't know if it's true. A woman comes up to Sammy Davis Jr. in Vegas and says, "Hey, Sammy, can I get change of a 20?" And he said, "Baby, 20 is change." It's pretty good, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
No, but I think What were we talking about?
I don't know. What's next? Are we on next one?
story. Last story.
Okay, next story. Okay, a HIPAA-compliant social network.
You're not going to do
HIPAA, Health Information Privacy Act.
Oh, wait, sorry. Last story.
No
Okay.
HIPAA.
Okay,
HIPAA.
Vito?
Everybody says no. We don't care.
Okay.
Next story. Give us another one.
All right. So Kanye West hiring tech guys for new startup.
Okay, that's interesting. Give us one line about that.
Cool. After a long sabbatical from his Twitter account, Kanye West returned to the internet last night with a flurry of thoughts.
Yes.
The big news, he's forming a new company, DONDA, named after his late mother.
Sure.
It's not entirely clear what the mission of
DONDA
the
West.
company is, but it seems like the tech side can get involved. As Kanye tweeted, he says, "I am assembling a team of architects, graphic designers, directors, musicians, producers, writers, publicists." The list essentially goes on.
Keep going.
Okay, keep going. Okay, where was I? Directors, musicians, producers, writers, publicists, social media experts, app guys, managers, car designers, clothing designers, DJs, video game designers, publishers, tech guys, lawyers, bankers, nutritionists, doctors, scientists, and teachers.
So that's 28 people. And I guess the only thing we can take from that is that cocaine is a hell of a drug. I mean, Jesus Christ, what drugs is this kid on?
Did you see the concert when he was in town? Any of you guys see
I missed it. I had tickets and I wound up selling them. The Throne concert? No,
Unbelievable.
he's truly. I saw him the last time on the tour before that.
He is a creative genius. It was this.
Now, was it him and then Jay-Z, or Jay-Z and him together?
It was them together. So
the whole time?
2 hours and 45 minutes. It was together, then separate, then together. We're taking vocal breaks, but like 2 hours and 45 minutes of just
I had tickets too, and I
insanity.
didn't go. I wanna see
was
it.
unbelievable. You have to. When you see him perform,
He's amazing. He's a true talent.
But
I mean, this is
the creativity.
You know what this reminds? This is a. I had a friend who used to send me crazy emails at 3 a.m, and then I would get a second email from him at 7 or 8 a.m, and it would just say that was an Ambien post. Forget it. Because he used to take Ambien, and he would wake up and write me these long emails that made no sense.
I think. Did you read his whole thing?
I read the whole stream, yes.
I didn't read the whole stream.
Yeah.
He has creativity, and he wants to express. He was trying to figure out, right?
And then he called up Elon Musk and went over and visit Elon and showed him all of his plans.
He did?
Yes.
No, he didn't.
He did.
No, he didn't.
Oh, yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Go look at Elon's Twitter feed.
Yeah, he visited Elon.
No.
Yes.
SpaceX,
Yeah. There's a photo with them together at SpaceX.
Are you out of your mind?
No. Like 2 days before this.
A couple days, yeah.
Yeah, a couple days before.
Last week. I think it was last week.
But it sounds to me like a classic. I don't mean any disrespect to say this, but it's like a manic, late night manic phase of creativity, and we've all been there.
I think the bigger.
And I hope he does. I hope he does something.
I think he's a creative genius. I think that what to me the bigger story was his expression in real time on Twitter was just
amazing.
and forget
I give him props for that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It was like you
it.
could totally tell it was from the heart. It was just his stream of consciousness, and to have somebody like him at his, I mean, he is a genius.
Right.
How many Grammys now? I mean, he just
So many.
He prints them, right?
Right.
And for him to imagine Steve Jobs, 10 o'clock at night, spending 20 minutes on Twitter, just like thinking and talking.
No, Steve Jobs didn't do that. He just went to the customer service emails and then just responded to people there.
To me, the bigger story was the power of Twitter and to listen in on somebody's thoughts for 20 minutes.
This isn't.
That was amazing.
I'm telling you, this is Courvoisier and Ambien. This is what my friend used to drink. He used to drink cognac and Ambien.
That wouldn't that like?
It could kill you. Yeah, I'm not suggesting you do Courvoisier and Ambien, but I mean, this is insane. I mean, he just basically listed every profession possible, and he's really going to have car designers and video game designers.
He wants everything to be more beautiful.
And nutritionists.
He's a designer.
He was inspired by
Fashion people say that over the springtime, in particular last spring, he was spending more time at the front row of fashion shows than almost anybody else in the fashion industry.
Wow. I heard he did like an internship, or on this stream, he was saying he did an internship for 4 months somewhere, then another place for 4 years, and he's got some LV association where he could make a pair of shoes. Or
Nike,
Nike. He is a creative genius. He's a little bit out of control.
I mean, you got to see if you saw the concert and also his previous albums. It's
I know the whole story. And I saw the last concert series. I mean, I think he's just, the thing is, I think it was like heartbreaking when his mom died. and clearly he's like, he was lost for that year.
Yeah.
When he
he almost died. I mean, right?
Car accident.
Car accident.
Yeah. Interesting. Kanye West and the tech industry. What would be? Maybe Kanye West should be CEO of Yahoo.
There you
If
go.
Kanye West was CEO of Yahoo,
He wouldn't create all.
let's just play this out for a second.
Yeah, I'm with that.
If Kanye West became CEO of Yahoo, would Yahoo be a better company or not? Like, assuming somebody can come in there and just say, all the stuff that's working already, we're not going to destroy and let Kanye unplug. Like, the guy who's now CEO, he's in charge of all that other stuff, and Kanye's doing all the new products. Like, how many people would go work at Yahoo?
I think some people would.
Well, why doesn't Larry Page call Kanye and just say, come work at Google? Because they got that crazy Google lab in San Francisco nobody's allowed to go to where all the secret stuff is. They could just have him work there. Kanye as CEO of Yahoo.
I don't think that's what he wants. Exactly.
No, I know. He wants to start his own company. Or just do projects?
I think it sounds like projects. It sounds like he just wants to.
So are you in touch with him? Yes
all
or no?
those people. He lives
Are you
there.
in touch with him, Peter?
I think that what he wants to do is take his creativity.
Peter's in touch with Kanye. It's so clear to me now. Now I get it. You're in touch with Kanye, and you're going to do like a Shoe Dazzle e-commerce thing with him, aren't you?
Shoe Dazzle. You know what Shoe Dazzle is pretty awesome.
You are infatuated with Shoe Dazzle, in fact.
I'm infatuated with Beachmint, Shoe Dazzle.
You love this new commerce model.
I love it.
And you think celebrities are the driving force in it.
I don't think all the time. I think it's a big piece of for some of these guys' success, and I think that
Kim Kardashian?
Yeah, look, think about QVC, Home Shopping Network. It's driven by
Joan Rivers, whoever comes on.
Thigh Masters. I mean, how do they sell it? Because people listen to celebrities. I think.
So you are in touch with Kanye, and you're going to do. Tell me now if you're not in touch with Kanye.
I don't even know where you're falling into these jaws. No. What I'm saying is what.
Do you think Kanye? Let me ask you this way: would Kanye West make a great Shoe Dazzle type service in your mind?
I would think so.
Is there anybody who would do a better job in your mind? Is he in the top 10?
His
top 5?
Look, Nike gave him a contract to create shoes. I would think so.
Well, and you're the ultimate deal guy. You got T-Mobile and all that stuff. You're the great deal business guy. You can't get in touch with a Kanye?
Kanye is amazing.
You heard it here first, folks. I am guaranteeing you that Peter Pham is in touch with Kanye and that he's going to get something done. You don't ever play poker with me. I will take all of your money, Peter.
Hey, when are we going to play, by the way?
We could play tonight. There's a game going on in Hollywood.
I gotta go to the airport in like 2 minutes.
Hey, listen, this has been an amazing show. Marshall, congratulations on hiring Kanye to work at your startup. Is there a name for this new startup, Marshall?
Yep. If you go to Plexus, Plexus, engine.com, you can sign up to get early access to the beta. Looking like we're going to start letting in the first couple hundred people in a couple months.
Hey, you want to launch it? You want to launch it on March 7th at the launch conference? I'll give you a spot.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you just have to keep it under wraps. You can't do any press until that day. You know how it works. 1,000 people will be there, all the top angel investors.
And by the way, congratulations. Yeah. It's awesome to make that jump. That was...
A lot of journalists are doing it. Saul Hansel is doing it now in New York. Jeff Jarvis was one of the original guys to do it. I don't think it worked out.
Rafat Ali.
Who else?
Rafat.
Oh, Rafat, who worked for me. His first job was working for me. I think his first job was me or Inside.com.
You made some money.
No, for me, then Inside.com. And then Sarah Lacey's now doing one, and Paul Carr is doing one, right? Sarah and Paul are creating content sites.
Right.
So
and look,
still entrepreneurial, but...
In a way, right? I mean, starting a venture firm for Arrington and MG for those guys. So it's
that's a huge difference.
It's making a huge jump. I love it.
It's like you know who the original journalist turned venture capitalist is? Moritz. Michael Moritz went from journalist, covering Apple, wrote the original book on Apple before anybody even knew who Apple was, to joining the venture firm that backed Apple. Okay. Talk about a story there. All right, hey Marshall, congratulations on that, and everybody follow at Marshall Kirkpatrick. No, actually at Marshall K.
At Marshall K.
Yeah. Peter Pham, at Peter Pham, of course, on Twitter. And the name of the incubator is?
Studio.
Science. So science.com, they'll find it there?
Science-inc.com.
Science-inc.com. Wow, a dash in the name.
Yeah, at Science Inc. Is that where?
You have at Science Inc.?
Of course we do.
Okay, so at Science Inc. And if people wanted to apply to be part of the incubator, what type of things are you looking for?
Again, we don't have applications. It's not
okay, but if somebody were trying to
get a hold of us, same as you.
Yeah, but I mean, what type of things are you looking for? Is what I'm getting at.
Great entrepreneurs, man. Just great ideas, great entrepreneurs. And at the end of the day,
But how does it work technically? Like you give them 15 grand, like Y Combinator, or how does it work?
Typically,
broad strokes.
Yeah, broad strokes is depending on the business, we'll fund it as well. We actually have. We raised money from Rustic Cat.
Yeah, I heard you guys have like $10-20 million.
Raised $10 million.
$10 million. I heard you were oversubscribed.
We have great event. Rustic Canyon
Oversubscribed
Social
or not?
Capital.
It's a yes or no.
Terminology is irrelevant. We raised.
Could you have raised more?
Yes.
So you were oversubscribed. That's what it means.
So the way we look at it is great entrepreneurs, great concepts, and ideas that we want to be co-founders of, and then we'll.
So you want to be co-founders, so you're going to take a big equity stake, but they're going to get a salary, and they don't have to worry about raising money initially.
Right.
So if you come into Y Combinator, you're going to live off ramen for 15 grand. Here, somebody who's a serious exec could come in and make a salary still, be able to pay their mortgage or for their kid's school, and still raise some money.
And work with 5 partners that are operators. I mean,
right.
We're all
so that's
operators.
the thing. See, this is why you told me the original concept. If somebody else had told me that concept, I'd say it's not going to work. But if that somebody is Bill Gross or you and Mike Jones or John Borthwick with BetaWorks, seems like that. Like then I say it works. But for you, those people at home who think they're going to start an incubator or an accelerator or a studio, whatever you want to call it, if you don't have a pedigree and you haven't built multiple successful companies, please, for the love of God, don't do it. And if you're thinking about joining one of these things and the person's pedigree shows they have not done multiple successful companies, failures, successes, raised money, exits, the whole kabang, don't join it. I mean, why would you join to get advice from somebody who hasn't succeeded in life? I'm looking at some of the pedigrees and I'm saying, no. This pedigree, I'm saying, yes.
I appreciate it.
Science Inc. is a yes.
Thank you.
Hey, Tyler Crowley, how's everything going at Squeal?
Good.
Good.
Awesome.
I know. You're trying to get in him. We take money.
Are you
It's such a great
kidding me?
idea.
He showed me it.
I know, it's great. I get out from 25 grand, 50 grand, take a check, here you go. We'll take it. We'll not take it.
Really?
He had
even from
10.
him?
He would
Oh, I got people better than him.
I know, but I'm the first.
Okay, I guess the show is over.
No. Listen, let me tell you. He does have people better than me. I actually agree, and I introduce him to those people. But the fact is, he won't take it. And I told him, listen, it's a moment in time.
Yeah.
Take the money down.
Yes.
Because all it takes is some jerk-offs to run a goddamn plane into a building, or for the
Feast when the food is served, my friend.
Yes, and all it takes is some jerk-offs to put a bunch of bad loans into these derivatives and then sell them and leverage them up, and then the entire economy collapses. And guys like us who are out there, now Marshall's one of us, who are building stuff, we have to suffer because the whole economy collapses because some D-bags decide they're going to blow up a goddamn building, or they decide that now's the time to, take all these bad mortgages and sell them to consumers and grandmas, on their deathbeds in Florida, and rape their bank accounts. These goddamn D-bags will screw up the economy every 36 months, 48 months. And you know what?
Take his money.
Take the money down. If you're an entrepreneur, take the money down, build something great. You're going to get judged on a body of movies, not one.
Yes.
You're going to make 5 movies in your career, and it costs money to make movies. So don't be some kind of martyr, Tyler. Take the money and go build it. Are you afraid of success?
No, not at all.
What is this like? Are you trying to be the Plenty of Fish guy?
No, I love the Plenty of Fish guy.
No, I know, but that's like for every Craigslist or Plenty of Fish guy who did it with no design and no resources. There's 1,000 Airbnbs, Facebooks, and Googles and whatever.
We beat them up.
This is a whole other episode.
We do a whole 2-hour segment on this.
You're trying to get him to join the incubator, aren't you?
I'm trying to help this guy.
You're trying to get him. Help you. Yeah. You're trying to get him to join science.
I would love to.
And if you do, then you'll have 3 of my guys in your incubator. Ryan Budkey, Sean Percival, and Tyler.
Tyler would be awesome.
Listen, I know I'm the talent creator. I know that everybody goes and tries to get my guys and tries to make them founders. It's fine. It's fine. I think that's a good thing. All right, everybody. This has been a great show. Thank you so much to @MailChimp. Thank you so much to our new sponsor @Sourcebits. Great guys, Sourcebits.com, making great apps. And if you know somebody, we all get these phone calls. I need somebody to help me, but I need an app last week. Just think, you need an app. Your friend needs an app. You don't have time to build Sourcebits. Yeah. They're the source for the bits. Sourcebits.com.
Look at their
I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
They do good work. If you guys had something, you need something to get done real quick.
Some mobile stuff.
It's just like you can't. We could get a developer, or these guys could start it off and then hand it off. Good guys. Thank you, Sourcebits. Thank you, Marshall. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Megan. Hey, good job.
Thanks for having me on the
First
show.
time today, really?
First time reading the news. Very good. Very good. Mini golf
Thank
clap
you.
for Megan. Hey, thanks to the crew, Brandon and Alec Baldwin out there, Carolyn, and everybody. We'll see you next time on This Week in Startups.